All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into some minor LPDS universe updates. Fun ones, I guess. I discovered a new conspiracy theory. I didn't create it, I discovered it. Somebody else created it. We're going to talk about it, though. And then I do a little bit of ranting and raving about an issue going on in our neighborhood right now, and I want to get your take on it all. All that, plus a nice little cage fact for you coming up right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to the Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, the show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons and everything. We have a good time doing it. Hope everybody had a good week. I'm trying to plug my computer in because I forgot to. My week was pretty good. It's getting busy, getting hectic. Got things moving and shaking in the background here. So it's keeping things interesting. Talk about that stuff at future episodes as things come to fruition, but we're always moving and shaking over here. It's never a dull moment. Just when I decide, when I finally have actually time to take a break or get bored or whatever, I do something stupid and I add on to my plate to keep things interesting because that's what I like to do. So that's what's been going on. A lot of busyness, a lot of activity. Good stuff, though. So hope everybody also had a good week. And that you're doing, fun, productive stuff as well with your lives. And I hope you're not miserable. And I hope you're not in bad moods. And I hope you're not dealing with hardships. But if you are, tune into the LPDS because we talk about nothing and we have a good time doing it. So hopefully the good time gang will get your spirits up and all will be right with the world. I don't know what I'm talking about. Call the hotline while you're at it. Speaking of not knowing what I'm talking about, call that hotline, 202-670-1114. Love to hear from you guys. We had a good hotline call last time when the Bone Crusher called in so we could talk baseball. I hope I provided some value to him in the baseball world when it came to the Baltimore Orioles. Don't know what I'm saying. But we don't really have a lot of baseball talk going on this week. Nothing really new to discuss, so which is fine because most of the stuff new going on with the Yankees is usually not great. So they're playing the Dodgers right now, or by the time you're listening to this, the Dodgers series is over. I don't know how it's going to turn out. First game didn't go so well. And it goes back to the point that the Yankees they have some talent. Aaron Judge, obviously. They have guys that step up. Max Fried is also talented. They have some talent and they have guys that step up, but fundamentally they're not there. They can't compete with teams that have more talent and or are more fundamentally sound in the game of baseball. And that's what the Dodgers are. The Dodgers are more talented overall. Just in general, and they have, and as much as I hate to say it, they have a better coach. I don't like that guy, but he's a good baseball mind, and he knows how to prepare against teams. He prepares his team to succeed against each and every team as they come, as they come not to come to fruition, but as the schedule dictates. They adjust as necessary, and they exploit the vulnerabilities of each team specifically. So that's how, that's the sports baseball Yankees update for you guys. Quick update in the LPDS universe. Mr. Possum's back. Pablo Picasso is back to his antics again in the yard. Now, Randy, his discipline has greatly improved. He did not take out the possum. this time. In fact, he didn't even run to jump after him. He saw him, and as soon as I saw, when Randy glasses a target, he goes still and stiff like a pointer almost. He might have some pointer in him. I don't know. He's got something. He's got a lot of different dog features in him. So I saw that. I looked up and I see the possum on the top of the fence, straight on the back fence this time. So you could just see his silhouette on the fence because the lighting from the back strip mall is glowing. He's like an eclipsing the possum, and it looked like a cartoon, like he just kind of sneaking atop the fence line. And I saw him, and I was like, Randy, don't do anything. And Randy listened. He sat there and he listened. So the possum wasn't in any grave danger, but again, credit to the big guy. He played dead again. He didn't roll off the fence to play dead. He just went limp on the top of the fence. So his little paws, his little hooves were hanging over, dangling over, his tail dangling, his head kind of cocked down like he broke his neck. Like all the telltale signs of being dead. I don't know how. He must have had half his body dead, and then the other half, the back end that I couldn't see, he was holding on to the ledge of that fence for dear life. Like he just has that much death, body control. Death defense control. I don't know what you want to call it. And then also, what do I see? Dumpies dripping down the fence because he sells it. The guy, I've never been more impressed by a self-defense mechanism, a survival instinct in my entire life. He did it again. Now I know. If we ever get to a war with the possums, you got to cut their heads off. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're friendly creatures. I don't mind the possums otherwise. But if we go to war and you think you got him down, hold the phone. Because I guarantee you they are still very much alive. They played dead like nobody's business. And that's what he did. And then I brought Randy inside, and I could still see the silhouette. And he knew the coast is clear. I don't know how long they wait. I don't know if he's like slightly opens his eye, like when you're fake sleeping as a kid or as an adult, if you don't want to talk to your spouse, you fake sleep and you got to squint your eye open a little bit to see if the coast is clear. Maybe that's what he did, because when he felt safe, when he sensed he was back in safety, right back up, bang, he tightened up, stood up, and just sauntered off into the moonlight. Quite impressive. And I think Randy now is just like, hats off to that guy. 3 cheers for the possum. We're just going to let him live his life. He did it twice. So good on possum for that. Otherwise, that's really the biggest updates we got going on in the LPDS universe for now. So nothing too exciting. That's what that's the exciting stuff, the fun stuff anyway. Now, moving on, I want to talk about something I came across on the internets. And I say the internets on purpose because I want to make it clear there's no proof identified that this is a real thing. And I didn't do any digging yet to assess the veracity of this theory here that's going around. I just thought it was fun. I wanted to bring it to your attention to see if anybody out there knows anything about this in real life, in reality. And then on the back end, I'll do some digging and recon to see what's the truth behind it all. But I just thought it was kind of funny, this whole thing, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys. So I saw this video of this guy explaining why people like IPAs. Now, I imagine most of you I've tried an IPA beer. Is it Independent Pale Ale or Indian Pale Ale? It's something Pale Ale. I don't remember what the I stands for. I never do, and I don't care enough to look it up. They're a big, trendy, hipster hit the past several years. Most most of the local like breweries in your towns and areas that have popped open in the past 10 years, they all make their own IPAs. I don't know if it's the easiest beer to make or just because like that's what the hipsters like just so, trending so much. That's the, excuse me, that's the go-to. It's like if we can make a beer in-house instead of just being a bar, we're also a brewery, IPA is the way to go. I don't know. But they're everywhere. And you know what I'm talking about. Even if you didn't have them before, you've heard of them if you're out and about in society. Now, I personally hate them. I think they stink. And I don't like the environment around them because it's most of the people. I don't want to generalize completely because there are people out there who are not like this, but the stigma and the stereotype of the IPA community. They're not my kind of people. Mainly because they have to shove it down your throat. Because most of them have that sort of like highbrow, holier than thou sort of attitude about them and air about them. Even I drink IPA. Like, oh, you drink Coors Lattes? You drink Bud Diesels? I drink IPAs. There's more ABVs, alcohol by volume, percentage-wise, in an IPA. So I drink the IPA. It's not for everybody, after all, son. But I drink them, and I enjoy them. And you just drink this gutter slop. It's basically water, you know what I'm saying? Shut up, dude. Shut up. Okay? We all have our personal preferences. I have no problem with you liking IPAs. I have a problem with you as a human being right now because of how you act because you drink IPAs. You could drink whatever you want. I've tried it all. I like stuff that people don't expect me to like. I like a good espresso martini. I like a good espresso martini with tequila in it too. Those are pretty good as well if they're made right. I used to get this drink at this bar in South Dakota. It was a trendier bar. It was newer when I was living there, when I was stationed out there. And it was some sort of, I don't remember if it was a martini or what, but inside the ice cube was a flower. Don't remember the kind of flower, but it went with the drink, like a light lavender, purplish kind of looking drink. I don't think the flower was lavender though. And the ice would melt, the flower would come out. You can eat the flower. It was lovely. Bone Crusher's dad loves a good strawberryita from Red Robin's. It comes with the silly straw. He doesn't like when you make fun of him for it, or when you even just mention the fact that like, oh, that's a cool looking drink, but he likes that drink. I like that drink too. It's a good drink. I like the silly straw. It's a little game. It gives you a little jaw workout, so to speak. And you enjoy a nice, soothing, like icy strawberryita or whatever the hell the drink there is at Red Robin's. So I don't judge what people, what they like and don't like in the beverage department at all. Couldn't care less. Do you? But as soon as you bring it with the attitude, it's over. That's it. The respect is gone. I'm going to say something about what you're drinking just to pile it on. But once you come at me with that holier than thou highbrow garbage, it's all over. Okay? I'll do what we do best here at the LPDS. I will bring you down to the trenches where I grew up, where I live, where I thrive, and it's my favorite place to be. I will drag you down to the trenches, and I will bury you there. And I don't like to do that to other people. If you're not a trench guy, not many people deserve to be down in the trenches like that. So I don't like to do that to people. I try to be a nice guy. I try to be kind and just be open to everybody and all good here. But if you cross anybody here at the LPDS, you're gonna be in for a bad time. And the majority of the IPA crew is clearly looking for a bad time. And again, you could talk to some of my friends and family, or you could even talk to probably ex-friends or family that doesn't like me even, because I don't have a problem causing a ruckus in public if I'm dealing with one of those IPA types. If they start getting mouthy and pompous, or anybody that shows that disrespect, then you opened the door. You took respect off the table. You took societal courtesies and professionalism off the table. I don't care where we are. I don't care if we're at a nice restaurant, we're at a bar, we're at church. Okay? Once you open that door, you remove customs, courtesies, politeness, respect off the table, then be prepared. Because I have no problem saying what I need to say about that portion of the IPA crew, which is unfortunately the majority of them. And then most people don't like, most of my friends and family don't like that. They defriend me, got it. They defamily me, got it. Understandable. I'm not for everybody. I'm an acquired taste. But that's a big reason why I don't like IPAs, because I don't even want to be associated with that community. The other reason is I just don't think they're good. It's bitter. It's way too bitter. You can't. They all taste the same to me. Now you can argue that all the crappy American beers taste the same, like the Budweisers, the Coors, Milwaukee's Best, Millers, all that. You have a pretty good argument there. I'm not gonna push back too much on that, and it's probably why I don't like. If you give me one of those 3 or 4, I'll be fine with it, because they all taste generally. There's some differences between Bud Light and Coors Light and Bud and Miller. Like there's some little differences, just like I'm sure there are for the IPAs as well. But that's, I don't see the difference in all I taste is bitter. And I don't care for getting drunk. I like the IBVs or ABVs at 7% alcohol by volume. It's way more than regular beer. I don't care. Like, I'm not drinking beer to get drunk anymore. I'm not in college or depressed or anything like that. I don't like getting drunk. In fact, I don't drink beer much at all, mainly because I don't need the extra carbs. But if I drink too much, like, I don't like drinking too much of anything anymore, because I don't like the way I feel after. So I don't care about the stupid alcohol by volume. Couldn't care less. All I taste is bitter, hogwash. So I see this video. Keep the story getting longer and longer. I see this video of this guy explaining that the reason people like IPAs. Let's see how I'm trying to remember how he explained this, because I'm going to butcher it as I normally do. Okay, this is what he did. He said, "Do you like? Here's why people like IPAs, and here's why these people are the way. Like, this is the stereotype of people." Okay, the type of people who like IPAs, the stereotype generally true. Not everybody is like this, but stereotypes are created based on statistical probabilities of things happening, and the probability you're going to find a person like this drinking IPA, this is what this guy is saying, is statistically, higher. This is why it's becoming a thing. So he's saying the type of people who are like IPAs are more often than not, statistically, and I didn't verify the stats on this, people who are depressed, have anxiety, ADHD, ADD, those types of people, not because they're mentally unwell or dealing with stuff, but because they're most likely taking medication for it, SSRIs. medication, pharmaceutical. A lot of people take it for a lot of different reasons, but that's what he was suggesting, that if you take SSRIs prescription, on a regular basis, you have more of a proclivity to go towards these IPAs. And that's because SSRIs do something with your taste buds and stuff that make bitterness more appetizing to you. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know the veracity of that. I'm just listening to what this guy is saying, trying to take it all in. But I do notice that the people that I don't like to be around also happen to be IPA type people. They're just not my crowd. Nothing wrong with them, just not my crowd. So that made sense. Now this is where the conspiracy comes in. Because now this guy starts suggesting that IPAs have increased in popularity. First, I got to rewind it because I just remember this part. I apologize. He shows some very loosely connected, more of a corroboration or a correlation, and certainly not a causation. But he was trying to show evidence of why he's right, and he was showing like a subreddit thread of the IPA community. He found a couple of groups, and they have the members identified or whatever. And then he showed a thread of like the depressed, anxious ADD community or whatever, though. Like, I forgot the name of the subreddit thread, the group. And he showed how like over 60-70% of the people from the IPA group were also in this other group, which I thought was kind of funny. Like I said, I don't know if it's true. It was just funny, okay? The correlation is funny. It's humorous to me, okay? But then he goes on to say now IPAs are increasing in popularity, not just within that community because of the SSRIs doing that with your taste buds, but because they're sneaking in SSRIs in our tap water. Now, we already know fluoride's in the tap water. That's not a conspiracy. That's like, it's been, the governments came out and said, like, yeah, that's what we do. We thought decades ago or however many years ago that people were too stupid and incompetent to brush their teeth, so we started putting fluoride in the tap water, so at the very least, somebody was cleaning you a little bit. Again, I don't agree with force-feeding us stuff. I believe in more freedoms. It's a little funny that it was like, you guys are so disgusting hygienically that we had to do this for you. It's crazy because I don't trust anything the government does. But it was still funny. It was like, they were like, we're incompetent, but you're so much worse at hygiene. We got to help you out. Even us can't stand it. So that's a known thing. Whether you think fluoride's bad or not, that's the tinfoil hat discussion you could have on your own time. We're not going to do that here today. But I've never heard of the sneaking in SSRIs into our tap water. I don't know how possible that is. It certainly sounds like it would be illegal if that was happening, because fluoride is not a scheduled controlled substance like certain SSRIs are. So I don't know, the veracity of that, but it's a conspiracy. It's a newer conspiracy out there that could gain traction because it's using correlations that do make sense, that do sort of line up without actually proving anything, but it plants the seeds in people's brains. And this is really why I wanted to talk about this story, not just because I like a good conspiracy theory, I like to have fun with this stuff, but we're in the beginning stages of what I've been talking about and what we've been talking about for a long time at the LPDS, and it's that propaganda playbook of convincing people of things that may or may not actually be true. We're in the beginning stages of that. Now, I don't know where this is going. I don't know if this is actually true or if this is a narrative they're pushing or it's just a lie to see how gullible people are. But this is the stage where we need to take the LPDS step back. We always talk about, we're always asking the question, like, how can these people get convinced of such crazy stuff? Because they're so far down the line, they don't think it's crazy anymore. They've been indoctrinated for so long with propaganda and narratives and brainwashing and whatever you want to call it, that now this is so true, there's almost nothing you can do to break them out of that. This is a playbook. This is a real thing. People get trained on how to do this. This is not a conspiracy at all. This is what has been done historically to other people and countries and whatever. The way to beat that is to recognize the signs early. And this right here, this particular SSRI in the water conspiracy, this is the first signal. Okay? So before we all decide to believe or go hard left or right deciding what's true or not true in this, we have to this is the alarm. Okay? We have to take the LPDS step back and realize, this is going to go in a direction that people want you to go in. I don't know what direction that is yet. I don't know who the people are yet. I don't know why they'd be doing this. But I need to recognize whatever they're going to continue to push, I don't trust it anymore. And I'm going to do my own digging to assess all the avenues and see what the hell is going on here. But I thought this was an interesting little case study, a little anecdote here. It's a fun thing. It's a funny thing to think about because if we're make a light of people, the IPA community, I like to make fun, to have a few laughs, little shits and gigs. I certainly in reality don't care, like don't judge these people or don't dislike them for any major reason. So it's just fun to kind of take a couple jabs at your pals. So it's a funny thing to think about, like, the IPA community is all hopped up on drugs, and that's why they like IPAs, because IPAs in reality suck. Funny. Got it. Makes sense. Cool. But it's also interesting on the other end of like, we are now this is how conspiracies, theories, wild ones that really aren't true, become so believed by such a large amount of people. So, interesting stuff. That's all I'm saying. And I like to talk about things that interest me on this show. Take what you will of that. Enjoy. If you find any new information on it, whether it's debunking or just additional fact, info in there, bring it on. Let me know about it. Tell me about it. What I recommend you don't do, though, you can if you want. I'm certainly not going to stop anybody from doing this, whether they want to call the hotline 202-670-1114 or they want to DM me, text me, email me, whatever. I just don't recommend doing it because it's going to fall on deaf ears. I don't recommend you come tell me why IPAs are actually good and it's acquired taste because you don't have a refined palate enough to enjoy it. That's why you don't like it, because your palate's not refined. Like, I don't need to be mansplained why you like IPAs as some sort of egotistical defense mechanism, some insecurity of why IPAs are good and you don't like them because you're below. No, you can like what you like and I can like what I like and we can all coexist together and be fine. Nobody's better than the other. As soon as you start talking down to me about why you're better and why your palate's more refined, and that's why you like IPAs, and I'm just this bum jabroni who only appreciates backwash, and that's why I don't like IPAs. As soon as that happens, that's it. Again, respect goes out the window. All the customs and courtesies, all the judgment-free crap, that's all out the window. So I don't recommend you doing that. If you like IPAs and you're an LPDS listener, good on you. Enjoy it. You have that to enjoy. And you have all these breweries around the country that keep popping up out of nowhere that are making their own IPA, so you could try different stuff all over the place. That's awesome. You have a wide area of traveling and exploration to do in your hobby or interest. That's cool. Good on, go forth and conquer. But I really don't recommend you try to tell me why I'm shit because I don't like them. it's not going to end well. I don't care if it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. You're not going to like the outcome. I'm not going to like the outcome because I'm likely going to lose a friend. So, anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Let's get into the good stuff, though. Got some things I want to discuss in the Junction. But first, let's step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Ball Bag Ice Packs. Are you tired of the outdated ice packs that don't stay cold long enough? Or maybe you're sick of using bags of frozen vegetables to keep cool in the summer or ice an injured ego? Well, finally, your cries are being answered with Ball Bag Ice Packs. Ball bags use an all-new ice pack technology that consists of hundreds of small gelatin balls inside a malleable pouch that not only will shape itself to any part of your body, whether it's the hump on the back of your neck to cool you off or your protruding Osgood-Schwader on your knee, but the gelatin is made with a special unlicensed serum that keeps the ice pack Arctic cold for up to 8 hours. So now you won't have to worry about the pack falling off your fat thigh or getting too warm too fast. So to start slapping ball bags all over your body today, visit www.blueballs.com and use the promo code SOOTHINGSACK for 29% off your first ball bag. Stupid. All right, the Cage Fact. This is a little update on streaming services and really another LPDS pat on the back, because the movie Pig, Nic Cage's movie Pig, has been put on Netflix recently within the last week. And I've seen about 10 articles in the past 2 days alone, actual different articles, not the same one copy and pasted into different websites, but 10 different articles talking about how good Pig is and how people are watching it on Netflix and saying, wow, what a good movie. How did we miss this? They're raving about it. I think it has like a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care personally about the reviews because I don't care if it said 2. If Nic Cage is in it, I'm going to see the movie anyway. But I know a lot of people like those reviews. So once again, this was the one, by the way, I told you when it came out. I said, I will tell you when I'm biased and when I'm being objective. And I have no problem admitting my bias to Nic Cage. I'm gonna watch and enjoy all the movies he's in, even if the movie stinks. But objectively speaking, I said this movie was good. We could go back to the years when it came out. I think I was still in Maryland, at the LPDS compound in Maryland, the OG compound. And I talked about it then, saying, this is a top-tier performance, nothing like Cage has ever done before. He had a couple Cage moments, but otherwise, this is a movie you want to see. When did it come out? 2021? 22? Something like that. I don't remember exactly when it came out. And now, people are like, how did we not know about this? That's because you don't listen to the LPDS. I don't know what to tell you. This show has been out for 5 years. We celebrated 5 years just 2 weeks ago. And when I say celebrated, I mean I forgot to mention it on the episode, but like May 8th, May 12th, those were the first 2 episodes of the LPDS back in 2020. We've been talking about the Cage greatness on this show week in and week out for 5 years now. You have no excuse not to know that movie exists or that it was good. You have no excuse. When a Nic Cage movie comes out and I see it, I give you the quick and dirty up front right away. See it in theaters, don't see it in theaters. Wait for it to come out on streaming. This was a see it in theaters situation. This was a must-watch as soon as it came out situation. And you all knew, the LPDS universe knew, most of you have already seen it. So you're tracking. My PR team is just garbage at getting the word out on the LPDS and Nic Cage, apparently. Because 4 years later, people are like, oh, I can't believe I didn't know that this movie existed. That's because you don't pay attention to what's right in front of your stupid noses. We've been here the whole time, in the cage, providing the updates, providing the factoids, giving you the reviews, everything possible about Cage. Look up every fact you can possibly find on Nic Cage. Everything. I promise you, we've covered it on this show. I promise you, because I get hard-pressed to find new stuff. That's why I give a lot of updates now instead of Cage facts about him. They're updates on what he's making, the movies coming out, interviews he's doing, because we've covered them all. Nobody is more knowledgeable on the inner workings of Nic Cage than we are here at the LPDS when we step into the cage. And I don't know how many times I need to say it. I don't know what different ways we need to communicate out to these non-believers. Just how right the LPDS always is. 900 batting average. We're Hall of Fame numbers. I keep saying that like a broken record. 900 batting average. We're good at what we do here when it comes to Nic Cage. And a lot of other stuff too. But Nic Cage, we're good at what we do. I don't know what else to say or how else to say it to prove that to these people, to get through to them. But damn. I'm just happy Netflix decided to finally put it out there for these numbskulls to I wish I could see their face. Oh, I can't believe this movie didn't come out. I can't believe I didn't know about this movie until 4 years later. I like to slap them upside the head with a leather glove. That's because you don't listen. We're here every week, every Sunday, rain or shine, whether people are listening or not. And guess what? Most people are not listening, and we're still here doing the do. Fighting the good fight, putting it out there. Anyway, that's the Cage fact. Now I'm all heated, and I'm going to get more heated because now we're going to step into the Junction, spin the logo up. We're still talking about water here, actually, folks, and I'm gonna do a little venting and bitching here, but I want to get your take on this because I'm annoyed, and I think I'm justified in it. And I'm trying not to let it get the best of me, but I want to get your take on it. So, a water pipe, water main, whatever you want to call it, busted in our neighborhood. My neighborhood across the street from me, right on the sidewalk area of my neighbor Don's house across the street. Good guy. Now, they just fixed that particular area last year. So there's a new sidewalk there, the whole everything, and water is coming out of the ground, gushing out of the ground. They didn't break the sidewalk yet, busting out of the ground. Now, Don, my neighbor, smart guy, well-traveled, well-experienced man, financial background. He's an accountant by trade, but he worked in the water world, for lack of a better term, not with Kevin Costner, but just in the world and the realm of water years ago. And he gave me a little insight into this. He said if water is coming out of the ground like that and it's spewing out and pushing out, it's clean water. Even if you don't have to look at it, if it's gushing out into the road and you can't tell off the asphalt and it's barreling out like that, it's clean water. And that's because they pressurize the pipes, or they push what's the word, like an air compressor. They got that in the pipes. It's pressurized so the water flows out. They don't do that with the sewage pipes, wastewater, because they don't want the water, if a pipe breaks, they don't want the wastewater, the shit sewage water, to be power gushing into the soil, into the atmosphere, into the water supply, anything. They want to contain it. So sewage water flows like with the normal current of people flushing and dumping and doing what have you with wastewater. But clean water gets pushed out, propelled out, so that people have water pressure in their houses, water pumps pumped out, and clean water gets to you faster. So we've had this is a clean water main break. It's gushing out. This happened Monday. Okay? I'm recording this episode on a Saturday. I saw it Monday morning is when it first broke. So we're talking 6 days. And not one person from the city or the public works department has come by to do anything about it. 6 days of clean water that cost money and time to clean and sanitize, gushing through thousands of gallons a day, gushing through. I don't know what kind of problems it's gonna cause to the road or the area, if it's gonna seep in and create sinkholes. Luckily, my house isn't affected as far as the water pressure goes, but I can't imagine that's the same for everybody in the neighborhood. And thousands of gallons a day just pouring out into the sewer, so that it just goes right back into wastewater, and they got to waste money cleaning it again. And then shoving it right through a broken water main again. Just a cycle of malarkey. That water is not being used by people. It's gushing out into the street and into the sewer. Thousands of gallons. Now, here's my issue with it all. It doesn't directly affect me because my water pressure is still good to go. And I don't drink my tap water. So any sediment that is getting into the pipe, that's another reason why they have the pumps out there. Because if there's a leak or a hole in the pipe, it's pushing the water out as opposed to allowing like dirt and shit to seep into the pipe, into the broken pipe, as best as possible. But when you're running for 6 days, it's only a matter of time before stuff gets in there. But I don't drink that water because I don't want to get, I don't want the fluoride in me. I don't want the SSRIs. I don't want to like IPAs. So I drink bottled water, this, top tier, highbrow water. The IPA community probably likes this water too. And they don't realize that because they're drinking tap, they became a highbrow IPA guy. And now they don't really understand how it happened. They're deep in it. They've been drugged by the CIA, whoever's putting the SSRIs in the water. But it doesn't directly affect me. It doesn't affect Randy. I don't give him that water either. The water here in Houston is not good. The city water is not good to begin with. It's hard water, if that makes sense. It's corrosive. It's not. I think it was giving Randy's diarrheas. So we're off of it anyway. But my problem is we're a first world country, and we're a metropolitan city in a first world country. I know we have problems in the country area. Flint, Michigan hasn't had clean water in decades. I'm flabbergasted by that. But I'm not complaining because we don't have clean water. I'm complaining almost on behalf of people like the people in Flint, Michigan. We're a first world country. We're supposed to be the best of the best, and we're in a city which is supposed to be more advanced than the outbound, the Outer Banks areas, whatever you want to call those. I don't want to make any derogatory comments because I do like the great outdoorsy areas, the more blue collar type, middle of nowhere type of stuff. But you're supposed to be more advanced, smart cities, surveillance, high tech. This, all these cool buildings, everything is running smoothly and great. And we're at a week now where we're pissing away clean water. There are people living in the deserts of Africa. There are people in India taking dumps on the floors of their own houses because they don't have toilets, they don't have plumbing. People in Afghanistan taking dumpies outside, no TP, no water. There are people seeing this, and we're just pissing away clean water that these people would literally kill for. They will wipe out an entire village if it means getting access to a water pipe pumping out clean water for them on a regular basis. There are entire charity organizations dedicated their whole lives and missions to building wells in third world countries now in the 21st century, in 2025, so that they have cleaner water. And we're just letting this piss away back into the sewers. Thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons. And they know about it. This is not like, one of those things where like groupthink sets in, or you're in that bias of like, Don, my neighbor, probably already called, or another neighbor who's actually affecting probably already called, so I don't have to call too. We all called. They know about it. The city knows about it. They haven't had one person come by. Not one. Somebody came by. Actually, I think it was either Don or a neighbor. Part of the neighborhood came by and put cones on the sidewalk because we have a lot of old people in our neighborhood and they walk their dogs on the sidewalk. So they put the cones there ahead of time so that they're not, inadvertently flooded out and hit with these raging waters. It was a kindness by somebody in the neighborhood, not the water company. And they know about it. They're just like, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. I know we got a big city, and it's very widespread. And you're busy. There's a lot of other people, a lot more neighborhoods to deal with, understandable. But tell me where in the hierarchy of priorities and emergencies and urgencies, the Eisenhower matrix, where in your Eisenhower matrix is a broken water main, a clean water main break, pumping water out of the pipes, leaving it open and vulnerable to get crap and dirt in there, and wasting thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of water and dollars every day. Where is that priority to send a crew out to fix it? It takes a few hours. And I know this because about a month or two ago, they repaired a pipe on the other neighbor's house, the other side of my house, across the street on the other side. 4 hours. It wasn't even an emergency. It was a routine replacement of a pipe. There was an old pipe they didn't want to break. They're redoing that whole house there anyway. It's London Boy's house. You know London Boy. They're flipping that house. So they had the public works guys come over. 3 or maybe 4 hours it took them. Probably maybe a little longer. Maybe they took lunch. Less than a day. Replaced the pipe. They shut the water off, replaced the pipe, put it back on. In fact, I might even bitch about them then because they didn't tell anybody that they had scheduled water shut off for the day. And they just shut. And I went up to the guys. I was like, "Hey, what's the? Are you gonna turn the water back on?" They're like, "Yeah, a couple hours." I was like, "Hey, did you like?" I'm cool with you guys doing the work, but you don't get to give me attitude when you didn't tell anybody shit about turning the water off. And this entire street is either people who work from home or retired people who stay home all day. So we need the water. So don't give the attitude. So I bitched about that. Maybe it wasn't on here. Maybe it was some other time. I don't know. Somebody had to get an earful about me ranting about it. So I apologize to them. But this is an actual urgent issue. This is a broken pipe. You are losing clean water second by second by letting this go. But you send guys out to fix a pipe that what didn't need to be fixed, just need to be replaced, and nothing was broken on it yet. This one is actively broken. Pouring out water. And they're doing nothing about it. And I don't know, again, I don't know if it's incompetence. I don't know if there's like a coordinated attack going on the water mains around the city, that there's so many broken that the public works department is just overwhelmed. And it's terrorists doing this. Or I don't know if this is some sort of weird conspiratorial money grab or power grab or SSRI, injection operation. Where they just let it go for a while and then they're like, okay, we're gonna replace the pipe, but this is the valve, this is the entryway where we're gonna put our drugs. Or maybe they're like, oh, the longer this goes on, the more money we can get from the federal government or from the state. Maybe it's a county, like the city and the county are trying to squeeze money out of the state's pockets. You gotta see, our water budget is off the charts. Or they're trying to get rid of the clean water so that they could say, like, well, we're in a drought. We need money. I don't know. Put your tinfoil hat on for a second to try to help figure it out with me, because I can't figure out any logical reason why you would want clean water like that to just be pouring out all week. Thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons gone back into the sewers where the raccoons are hanging out in my neighborhood. They're getting clean water. They're loving life right now. They're usually bathing in literal shit water. Now they're getting clean water pumped down there, and they're loving it. Meanwhile, Ethel down the street from me with her little shit Pomeranian dog might not have water pressure at all in her house. Because she's connected to that water main. That pipe's broken. She can't clean any of the wrinkles or folds in her body right now, and they're just getting gunked up. Getting all gunked up of whatever goes on in old people's bodies. And I'll let you know when I'm an old person. I'll keep you posted, because we'll probably still be doing this show for 12 people. Well, actually, maybe 6, because by the time I'm old, maybe some people will be dead. But poor Ethel over there can't clean up. She can't give her dog any water whatsoever, unless she buys bottled water, which I don't think she's doing, because she's not strong enough to carry those racks of water in the house. Feeble and meek. That little Pomeranian runs her around like a rag doll. And nothing from the city, there's not even a thing on the website acknowledging, like, hey, we understand there's a water main break on this street in this neighborhood. It's in the queue. Not a damn thing about it. Completely useless. And like I said, I don't know if this is some sort of corrupt operation going on or just standard government incompetence. That's what it likely is. It could be a combination of both. There could be a lot of incompetent people that just can't figure out how to solve this, but the smart ones in the background are not helping them out at all. They're like, just let it go, because we're going to rake in the cash from it, and then we'll eventually tell you how to fix the problem, you idiots, you nincompoops. I just can't believe it's been almost a full week, not just a business week, a work week, a full week in 2025 in a first world country, in a metropolitan first world smart city situation, that they're just letting this happen. I would expect this in South Dakota when I was stationed up there. That happened when there were snowstorms. They wouldn't send the plows out until after the snow was done. Because it was a slow-moving, slow-paced town. It was a small town. It wasn't like New Jersey where they have these jabronis out on the highways in the trucks collecting overtime before the snow starts because they know people got to get to work. They got to get to New York City. They got to get to work. They got to get to the airports. They got to move and shake because they think they're more important than everybody else. I get it. So they have the trucks out there before, salting the roads, before the snow starts, and as the snow goes, they're plowing all night as the storm is going through. South Dakota's the opposite. They wait till the end, don't pay anybody overtime, and then they get to it when they get to it. When there was a blizzard and the snowplow drivers got trapped into their houses, well, we just didn't plow the roads for weeks at a time and trapped people into their neighborhoods or out of their neighborhoods. I had to park a mile away and walk to my house on top of the snow drifts to get to my house when I left work after a blizzard. That's what I had to do. If I wanted to go to work, I had to get back, walk another mile to get to my car because my street they weren't touching the street for 2 weeks or until it melted, whatever came first. So I could see this happen in a small town on the outskirts. That's what I was thinking of, not the Outer Banks, the outskirts of the country. But to me, this is unacceptable. This is a waste of our taxpayer money and our utility bill money. We're paying a bill for water. This is not just coming out of our taxes. We also pay an additional utility bill. So who's paying for this? Where is it going? Where's it coming from? Why can't we get communication from anybody? Just a simple, hey, we're tracking, we're working on it. They're not even acknowledging it's going on. And they're just pissing water away and also leaving it vulnerable to get shit and dirt and sediment into the pipes. And because the pumps are on, once it leaks in, it's getting pumped through to all the other houses out there, and we're just getting more shit water. So I don't know what's going on, but I just wanted to vent about it. If anybody is experienced in the water world, or just let me know. Am I overreacting? Like I said, it doesn't directly affect me. So at the end of the day, I don't care about it that much. When I look out the window and I see it day in and day out, it's just like, come on, guys, can we figure this out? Somebody's getting negatively affected big time by this. And it's just bullshit that you're just allowing this to happen, in my opinion. But tell me, if I'm being too bitchy and whiny about it, or if I'm at least a little justified in it, I'm always trying to get better, learn, grow, and improve. But when you're in your own head sometimes, you can't tell. Like I feel justified. I feel like I'm justified in my appropriate level. This is an appropriate level of anger and frustration and whining about it. Somebody's got to let me know if that's correct, if I'm off a little bit, if I'm way off, if I need to cool down, whatever. Let me know. Well, that's all I got today, guys. That's all I got to say about that. That's all we got for today. That's all we got for the week. Before we go, very quickly, the big three. The 3 pillars of staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, and being able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Number 1, exercise every day. Do something each and every day to improve your health and fitness physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person. Be a kind person. Get out of the negativity. Omit yourself from the negative situations. Don't initiate. Don't respond. Don't do it. It's very difficult to do. I understand. I get it. Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And you can do this by thinking of every day at least one good thing in your life and thinking about how bad your life would be like without that thing. Like clean drinking and tap water. shower water, water pressure at all. That'll put you in a state of gratitude and appreciation. And you'll be able to better navigate through not being a shitty person, not being negative. And then you can focus on your exercise to improve your physical, mental, or emotional fitness and health. And if you do that, I promise you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being. You will be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Put your notifications on. Follow the Libretti Leadership Lab on YouTube and Spotify and Apples. It's all on there now. Also, another thing I forgot to mention before, people are going to miss it because I know they cut out of here early. Damn it. If you like us, if you want to watch us, but you only listen to us on Spotify, there's Spotify video now for the LPDS. You can now watch on Spotify in your cars, crashing your cars while driving, watching the LPDS if you're interested. So there's that. Don't forget to call the hotline, 202-670-1114. Love to hear your guys' questions and comments and advice and jokes and impressions and what have you. 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.